Hello, hello, my green skins, and welcome to another Orc Chief Reviews. And today, what are we doing today there, Shining Gun?
Killer clowns from outer space.
And the tone of that voice says it all. What did you think of this movie?
Why do you hate me so much? Why did you make me watch this? This thing was so cringe.
All right, Orc Chief Reviews, breaking Dark's brain since 2020.
Yes. Well, actually, you only got so little. Certain people, I'm not going to say who, did most of the work.
I'm just finishing off the damage. Yeah, this movie. Okay, there's a reason this is called a cult classic, and I hate using that term for a movie because that like sometimes that means a cult classic means a good movie, sometimes that means garbage. This falls into a garbage-esque movie. It's a
Yes.
great it's a great visual feat and is just an amazing visual feat.
I'm surprised such a thing exists. I mean, if I made the movie and then had a look at it at the editing room once it was done, guy, I'd be like to my producers, guys, we cannot release this. Burn it. Burn it.
So it's not he didn't like it, but to be honest, it's it's meant to be a horror comedy, and I still think it falls under that good horror comedy. I actually would say it's not perfect, not
I
awful
I think it fails.
either.
It fails as a horror. It fails as a comedy. It just
I would
the only
say it doesn't. I actually disagree with you there. I actually do believe it didn't fail. I actually think that it wasn't. I think it was a perfect. It was a good horror. And it was a good comedy.
I think
I I,
what's
I
fascinating
think
about the
it.
movie is the fact that that as it is even exists.
Well, actually, it was a visual effect artist that did this movie, and that's actually what's going on here. You have a visual. You have a guy who does visual effects. Was the guy who was the creators of this movie. It was actually the guys that did that well-known visual effect artists, and you can tell it's a visual effects. Like this guy does amazing visual effects.
Amazing.
Now,
The visual effects. Oh, I'll talk about that when we get to it.
okay, so let's get to the first thing. We'll talk about the music. What did you think of Killers Clowns from Outer Space? The music.
Forgettable.
You know what? I'm going to be humming the original music. That like I said, this is definitely a cult. This is definitely what we would call an occult film. This is that like so far off the far reaching. People have been looking at this movie for years. Like this has been on YouTube on and off for years. Like Brandon Occult Films reminded me that this movie existed. I will say that this movie is a little forgettable, but Brandon Occult Film reminded me of this movie. So, what did you think of the acting?
Bad. Just really bad. Amateurish at best.
It was okay. It wasn't great. I would say there's some acting in this that's kind of unbelievable, but it's okay.
Like, I don't know if the
It wasn't
acting,
bad.
if it's completely the acting, because I know there's definitely some. The script they were given is also very bad. I mean, some of the dialogue they're
Well,
given is
we had some
just
good actors. Yeah, but you had some good actors in there. You had like the police chief was a is a well known actor, and there's some moments in there that are just really good for that. And he was a very
well,
good actor.
I don't know who he is. I don't remember him in anything else I've seen, but I think he's
Porky, he was in a bunch. He's been in a bunch of movies actually. That guy.
well, if he's as good as an actor as you're suggesting, then he has been poorly directed in this. Like, I get he's supposed to be the guy who's Um, he's a no nonsense kind of guy, but he was
Oh,
written
he's more
in
than just no
such a
nonsense.
cartoony, unbelievable way.
And that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. He is the cartoon. He is that cartoony character.
Everyone's a
He is the
cartoon
guy.
character.
But that's kind of the point of this movie. See, I'm not 100% sure if you're getting the point of this movie. This movie is meant to be a cartoon in visual effects. It's awful. It is a bad movie. It has some really crappy moments in it. But that's kind of the point. That was kind of like the idea that the creator was going for. Was this very like they were kind of going for this visual effects. So the big thing is let's get down to the actual reason this movie. Again, the guys who created this are visual effects artists. So what did you think of the visual effects?
Okay, this we're either going to strongly disagree or we're going to very much agree. I think the visual effects in this movie are piss poor, even by 80 standards.
You think this the visual effects sucked? I actually think they were well done.
It's very cheap. It
It's not cheap in any way, shape, or form. I think the thing is like, okay, you got to keep in mind we're watching a movie called Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, it's a B
This is
movie.
trash. This is like eating a fucking. Okay, this is like eating. This like Godfather would be a steak. You know, it would be a prime rib steak if we were to take the Godfather movie. This is like eating fucking McDonald's
Okay, okay.
or
No, no, no.
or Kangaroo
Predator.
Jack.
Predator is McDonald's. Okay.
No, Predator. Predator. I would say Predator's more of a steak. Actually, I would still say Predator's a steak.
The Predator is a
Like
popcorn movie. As great as it is, and I'm not taking anything away by saying that. This is below popcorn movie. This is like
no, this is a popcorn movie. This is something you put on with your friends and you just kind of watch it. It's this kind of you sit back with the visuals. The visuals for this are good. There are some amazing scenes in here for visuals. It's just very cool scenes.
I don't know, dude. I just feel like I could not suspend my disbelief. It was the effects were just too jarring.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to suspend your disbeliefs. That's the whole point. These things are supposed to have an uncanny valley to them. They're supposed to. This wasn't a horror movie. This wasn't a movie this is supposed to be a horror comedy, and it has some creepy moments. Actually, it does have creepy moments. It's a popcorn movie. It's like I said. I would say this is McDonald's. I would say this is Arby's. Actually, this is like one step below McDonald's because Arby's is awful. Arby's, you know what you're getting at the end of Arby's.
I
Like
would
you eat.
I've never had Arby's. I don't know what that it's like. I don't live in America or North America overall, so
This might be a culture. This might be a culture clash. Actually, this might be one of those. This might be a true culture clash on this one. This one, it's okay. It's not great. It's not awful for that. But the visual effects is the only reason to show up and watch this. There are some cool visual effects in this movie. There are some really good visual effects in this movie. Like there are some fun moments. There are some moments that are just okay. It's silly. Like I said, like that one scene where like and there are some creepy moments. Like that one scene where the clown's luring in the little girl. That's a fucking creepy move. That's a creepy moment. Another really creepy moment is when the clown has the police officer on the fucking using him as a doll and shit. That was kind of fun. That was kind of creepy. That was rather disturbing. So this movie does have moments where it is visually it does have moments that are actually creepy. It does have moments where it actually is good.
well,
I think I don't think it's perfect. Oh God, no, God, fuck it, no. This is trash. This is as far as I would go. This is trash, but this is trash you watch type of thing.
yeah, you're talking to a guy who cannot understand why even as a cult classic something like The Room could be a cult classic. I mean, I cannot watch these piss poor movies regardless of their status and enjoy them for their mediocrity or their ridiculousness. It's just I'm not that kind of viewer. So
Yeah, you're just not going to get it. I'm almost on the assumption you just are not going to get this movie.
it's not that I don't get it. It's just it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, well, exactly. You're not going. It's not your cup of tea, which means you're not going to get this because it's just something that you're not. You look at this and go, eh.
Like it feels like an amateur movie.
And the funny thing is, oh god, it's not. And there's been talks of sequels for years.
I've read about that, and I'm thinking, thank God it didn't happen. But a remake, if this was to get a remake, I don't see how they could screw it up because just about everything needs improving and can easily be improved upon.
But that's the thing. You would break the cheese if you did that. You'd break the reason to watch this. This is like I said, for a garbage movie, this isn't TerrorVision. Like TerrorVision's actually a good garbage movie. This one's like eh. I actually honestly believe this is a low end, and it is forgettable because I forgot this movie existed. If it wasn't for the fact that people are bringing this movie up, like Brendan's a cult film and stuff like that. These guys are all bringing these movies up again. So I'm actually able to find these, like, remember, oh yeah, this existed.
Hmm.
I actually have a lot of times where I actually think to myself, did that movie exist? I remember watching a clown movie. And then I'd forget about it. Years would go by, but then the internet got a hold of this movie, and now this movie has become a full cult classic. So what are you going to rate this one? This is going to be fun.
Uh, dude, I cannot see myself watching it ever again. This to me is a this is a hard zero.
A hard zero. Wow. I'm not again. This is definitely. I think this might be a culture clash because, as for me, I'm gonna give it about a 5.9. It's average. It's at that point. For visual effects, it's still a good visual effect movie. It still looks good. And the point is that these guys are. It's meant to be a horror comedy. That's the whole point of this. It's a horror comedy.
Yeah, cheesiness is not something I enjoy, or goofiness or campiness. It's like the opening scenes of the film. You have that. Without getting into spoilers, you've got this old guy,
Oh,
and he's like talking to himself, and he has a dog named Winnie the Pooh, or no, just Pooh Bear, something like that.
bring back my Pooh Bear. Yeah.
Bring back my Pooh Bear. What you
Again,
doing here? We're gonna be rich, boy.
yeah. I know it's meant to be stereotypical. It's meant to be this. It's like for something like to give something a hard zero, which means you just did not like the media, and that's fine. That's actually that's totally okay. It's just again, this is something you either get because you understand kind of the cultish to it, or you don't get it at all, and it's just something you're just gonna be like, ugh. And I assumed it was going to be one of the two with you. I figured it was either going to be that or the other one. So this doesn't surprise me. You did not like this movie. Like I was like, he's probably not going to like this one, but I still thought I'd give it a chance just to see how much you actually didn't like it. And wow, did you not like it?
No, I mean, I'm not bitter about watching it. I mean, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression. I'm not sitting here going, "Oh my!" I know I may have said earlier, "How does this thing even exist?" I meant that in a sense that how are the makers not embarrassed? But if people like it because of its cheesiness, I'm like, okay, fine. But I personally would, if I was a filmmaker, I would be too embarrassed to put this out. I guess because I'd
Oh,
want to take myself. If I was to be a filmmaker, I'd want to be someone taken seriously. These guys, I don't think they were going for that. The guys
no,
who
they
made this.
weren't. These are again. These are special effects artists. That's actually what they are. That's what they are, and that's their cheese, man.
I mean, I say that now because from what you've been telling me throughout this review, beforehand, I thought this was a film you had to take. I mean, I came into this thinking this is a film you have to take seriously, despite the name. Okay, I don't really watch B movies. I don't watch these
Oh, come on! This
like
is this is killing clowns from outer space.
I
You
don't
don't.
watch these kinds of movies. I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, I had an idea of what they were, but I thought, well, maybe this will change my mind. This will be the first time I properly watch it and see it for what they really are, rather than what my perception of them was. But oh my
No,
god, it's even worse than what my perception was.
no, God, no! Like I knew this was gonna. This is either gonna this is gonna make or break you for movies. I knew this was gonna be something that's just gonna make you go, "What the fuck?" As for me, me and my buddies will watch this as a joke. Order a pizza, maybe have a beer or two, and just kind of like just laugh at the visuals because this movie does have some hysterical visuals.
I mean, I was not a fan of the visuals, but to me, that's not a good enough reason to enjoy a film. I mean, oh my god, I remember when Avatar came out. The James Cameron's Avatar movie. Everyone was saying, "Oh my god, the visuals are so amazing. The effects are the best thing ever." I'm like, okay, but
That's
I still
all it
think that
had.
I still think that movie is shit.
That's all it had, though. That's the problem. It's all it had was visuals.
That and the
This
star
at least
power of
had,
Sigourney Weaver.
oh fucking. I actually would disagree with you. I think Sigourney added nothing to this movie.
Oh, she didn't add
No.
anything, but the fact that she's there obviously got people interested before they watched it, especially
Agree
Alien
to
fans.
disagree. Agree to disagree.
Well, either way, she was underutilized, and Avatar sucks. And I think,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm just remembering the fact that there were people. I mean, there are reports. I don't know if they're true or not, but considering what we've seen geek culture behave like, I wouldn't be surprised. As ridiculous as it may sound, there are people who have taken their own lives because they loved Avatar so much and they wanted to be in that world instead of our world. And it's just like, really? I mean,
Really. Well, let's not get totally off topic here because we don't want to go too far into the train of like, hey, because like it's let's keep to the killer clowns. We'll talk about Avatar another day. Movies we'll never watch again.
all right.
Because I that's one movie I'm never gonna watch again is Avatar. Killer Clowns I will watch again because it's such a stupid ass movie. It's a stupid movie. Like that's how I put this movie. This movie is stupid.
It's a train wreck
If
too,
you
and you can't look away from a train wreck.
It's not even a train wreck movie. I hate even calling it a train wreck. It's a stupid movie. Like it's something that I usually like to. I made a joke years ago. This is the movie I like to use to torture people, and it's somewhat true. There are so many poster moments in this movie. Like there are so many cool poster moments. Like one of my favorite visual feats in this movie is the parade theme. The parade theme is actually a good visual feat. I think that was really well done.
I mean, there are some weird things came came to my mind as I was watching it. Like, how come from far you could tell the costumes of those clowns were static? They're just fixed. They're just fixed. They're on a fixed expression. But when you get into close-ups, then their facial expressions they're more expressive. Their mouths move more forward and back and up and down. Their eyebrows, they blink and stuff. It's like, why couldn't they just use that
Okay,
all the time?
they use different. I think they use different masks from what I remember hearing. It's something I haven't done lots of research on, but Killer Clowns because again, it's not like John Carpenter's the thing that dug us in. I figured it was from one visual feat to another. Like John Carpenter from John Carpenter's the thing, The Killer Clowns. It's a good alien movie. It's something. It's not. I wouldn't call it a popcorn. I hate calling it a popcorn movie. I hate calling Predator a popcorn movie. I think it's actually more than that. I actually would be. I actually be remiss to call it a better movie than that. This movie. This is what I would consider a popcorn movie.
Well, to unfortunately, the standards of popcorn movies is so low now that I guess it is kind of
Yeah.
insulting to call something that, I mean, by 80 standards, a popcorn movie was still good.
Yeah, and yeah, that'd be considered a good movie. But I would say Killer Clowns, like I said, my ratings, like I said, a 5 to a 5.9. It's okay. It's not great. It's meant to be what it is. It is a stupid movie that a bunch of sci-fi guys made, visual effects guys made, and they did their job. And these things are scary, can be scary and terrifying, but they're not perfect. It was well done. It was okay. It was like you know. Would I again? Would Sean Gunn watch it again? Oh hell no! It sounds like we're adding that to his list of movies we'll never watch again. I'll watch this again. I'll sit down with a pizza, a beer. We'll watch Killer Clowns and play and watch and maybe play some video games afterwards or something like that. It's a trash night movie.
Yeah, I'll skip that for two reasons. One, trash movies are not my thing, and the second, I don't drink beer. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah. Hey man, we all think I'm technically not allowed to either, but that's I'm allowed to have. I'll have a beer once in a while. A beer. All right. Well, that's a review of Killer Clowns, and we're doing one more John Carpenter movie because fuck, it's John Carpenter. Before he kind of got trashy,
Oh,
and so we're going to be doing They Live next, and
oh
that's an
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting movie. All righty. So you guys have yourselves a very good day, and like, subscribe, and uh, always make sure that the clown that walks by you isn't a killer clown.
Like the Joker.